Hey, 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 it's Dr. Malcolm D. Alexander here, back with you for another episode, guys. Treadmill Wealth Coach in the house. Let's get this thing. Oops. Got me live on the computer. Okay, stop there. For another episode, guys. Well, I heard it. Interesting. I didn't know it would be live on my computer like that. Anyway, guys. Hey, guys, I'm getting ready. Knock it out, knock off the socks. Hey, you know what it is? It's treadmill time. That's right. I did my little stretches and got it going on a little bit before here. But just make sure you know, I am on the treadmill, going ready to get it in, and going to talk to you about some serious stuff. We're going to talk about relationships, y'all. That's right. Relationships as a business. Oh my God, some of y'all freaking out already. Well, let me go ahead and get everything else checked out and moving correctly. You know what we got to do? Because we are on the Winners All Around Network. And the Winners All Around Network's goal is to expose businesses and artists all over the globe on a consistent basis, being creative and helping you create income in your passions while you're getting exposure on all the different platforms, multiple different platforms, all at the same time, reaching hundreds and thousands of people. That's right. So you want to get with us, you can always go to YouTube and check us out there, y'all, under um, Winners All Around, as well as on all the other platforms, of course, because that's what we're talking about doing. I forgot my water, but I'm going to get it before I get this thing all kicked off. Okay, but let me go ahead and check, because you know what, that's what we got to do. We got to check and make sure everything's up and running everywhere it needs to be. Well, it's on multiple different Facebook accounts I see right now. I'm going to check our YouTube. See, this is what we do, guys. This is what we can do for you, right? And we even do it for you starting for free. Free, y'all. If y'all can't afford free, I don't know what to say. So let me see. Oh, there's one YouTube. That's Trump. That's not us. Okay. There's the other YouTubes. So the YouTubes are up and running. Okay. I already checked Instagram. You heard that. We got to take this. Yes. And we got to make sure we put it on Threads, right? Actually, let me take it from the YouTube scenario. But it don't matter. I'm going to take it here so we can get this thing kicked off. So we're going to go make sure we're on Threads and WhatsApp and all the other type of good stuff. So it's Thread. And there we go. Got that going. And then, of course, I'm not going to forget, I'm going to jump on there and make sure we make it happen on the TikTok store, right? And I'm going to speed my treadmill up too, right? Yes, indeed. Okay. But I had an accident a while back, and so I've been on multiple different treadmills and things of that nature. And that's so easy for me to do it on this one. The other treadmill, oh my gosh, I'm on an incline, boy. That's oh, you want to stretch yourself? That's what you got to do. Let me see here. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Okay. Oh, we got X, and I don't want to forget X, right? And I also got to make sure we get our stuff going back on. We got LinkedIn. And there was something else. Oh yeah, Telegram. We'll have to check that out. And of course, Tag is a little bit difficult, but see you on Thursday on Tag, y'all. If you're a singer, rapper, dancer, actor, or if you're a business owner, you want a little bit of stuff like that. What network? Okay, let me see. Oh, she just asked me what network. hmm In conjunction with all the other ones I had before. Okay, Facebook, Roku, WBGR, all of them. Okay, so let me know. Okay, so somebody just hit me on WhatsApp right there. Okay, so I think we're all good to go. I was missing something. I got to get on some other things too because I had some conversation with some companies, but that has to do with the music side. So I'm not even gonna get into that. Okay, so let me go ahead and open up the TikTok, get that going, and we'll be ready and good to go. Okay, so yesterday we was talking about secrets of a superstar. So if you missed that, guys, make sure you go on
the tube, right? Go make sure you go to YouTube and pull up Winners All Around, and you can see that where we talked about you being a superstar. We talked about that yesterday, I think it was. Okay, so relationships as a business is what we're going to talk about today, right? So, all right, countdown on the TikTok. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. Hey, TikTok, it is Dr. Malcolm D. Alexander back on here live again. The love coach. No, I'm just kidding. The treadmill wealth coach, y'all. But today we are talking about some love in the air. Being had Valentine's Day a while back, we're going into Easter, right? So, but we're actually talking about relationships as a business. Okay, so it's gonna throw off a lot of people. Um, but no, we just gonna have a chat. We're just gonna have a chat. We're gonna talk about some things, right? So don't get bent out of shape. Okay. So now we're on all the different platforms. Remember, guys, go to Winners All Around on the tube. You can see other shows from the last couple days. Don't forget on Friday we have Dads Deserve Justice coming back on Friday 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, Tomorrow, Thursday, starting Thursday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the Real Tress, THA, right, instead of THE, THA, Real Tress on YouTube. I mean on on Tags, and all the other platforms, of course, for Freestyle Friday. We got that coming up every Thursday at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But it's called Freestyle Friday because we go into Fridays and then we rock and roll on Fridays. You can sing, rap, dance, do all that type of good stuff. You can get a little mini interview if you're a business owner or something like that. I get on there and do a little speaking, personal development, pour into people sometimes, right? So with that being said, guys, let's speed up this treadmill and let's get into relationships as a business. All right, here we go. If you guys don't know my treadmill story, that's what I got to do to keep myself in shape. But I also like to talk to you, and I give people free coaching on here, and that's I can give back. Plus, for Winners All Around, we're giving free everything types of stuff, guys. So if you're an artist or business owner, please subscribe to the channel. Check us out on the networks, and let's go ahead and pop this thing off. Now, here's the thing I would want to give a little disclaimer of. Okay, I'm not a relationship coach. Well, I am in one sense, not in love relationships. Okay, but it's everyone thinks they're on some type of coach. I guess these days. I remember I was in a business and the guy was like, "Man, we went through some hard times," and he was like, "Why does everybody in my team think they're a coach now?" Victor, they couldn't figure it out, right? So I want to give that disclaimer. I'm not saying I am a love coach, but we are going to talk about relationships as a business. Now, one of the reasons I think, Brett, that I can actually talk about that is because the fact that, okay, I don't know everything, but my history, my background is yes, I was married for 11 years. Okay, so I made it past the 5 year mark. I had four boys, three of them was my own, right? I still have, okay, and I still have all of them, right? And so I did do that thing. I did walk down that aisle. I did that thing. So I know somewhat about a relationship. I've had girlfriends, been in relationships in the past, gone through some stuff. Who was that lady Dennis? What's going on? What's going on? Concede? What's going on, Andrew? So I did that, right? Now, I did that. And I did wait. I waited until I was in a different place financially before I had children. So I had a different life in that aspect. That's a whole different training ground. I was a stay-at-home dad. My ex didn't work. I um, I was also the caregiver and the provider, which was difficult for people to understand in the courts when I went through my divorce. And so, yes. So now I have Dads Deserve Justice that I am inspired by and pouring into. So there's a show also that you can check that show out. Sawyer Head Rock, what's going on, Monotonely. You can check that show out on Fridays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the tube as well, under Winners All Around. So you can check that out because, guys, that's dear to my heart because of that. Also, autism, we're working to help autism and all that type of stuff. So with that being said, guys, um, I had some experience, put it that way, in having relationships. Okay, I had girlfriends, I dated, I had a fiance, I got married, and I got divorced. And then I fought for custody and all that type of stuff. So I've had those experiences. And yes, okay, I would love to do it again. I'm in a great relationship right now, and we'll see where that goes, right? And so, with that being said, look, sometimes you mess up, you got to learn from your mistakes and do it again. Ain't that right, Tommy? What's going on, Hilly, Samuel, Adrian? So with that being said, guys, I'm only telling you that to say, look, I have some type of experience, okay? I'm not saying I'm the best, but I also have experience as a business owner. Yes, TikTok, what's going on? Sorry for keep looking over here, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, IG, all you, because TikTok gives me all the names. Kobe, Sylvester, user Dalton. I like to say hello to people. I need to figure that out on here because we should be able to see people on here. Okay, comments. Should be able to see that. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. I can see it on the tube. I got the Strike Clan, SMK, Sax 444. I'm sorry, guys. I'm learning. I'm learning. Our system is a new system, so we can put you on all the different platforms all over the world at all the same time. So bear with us as we figure all of this out. And of course, I've been on the treadmill for decades now doing this, but now it's become a show. So with that being said, let's jump into relationships as relationships as a business, okay? Or relationships are a business, right? Now, don't get bent out of shape, okay? Because I have success, as I said, in relationships. I also had success in business, music business, entertainment industry, network marketing. Been blessed to make seven figures multiple different times, and so I've had some success there as well. So I wanted to not get into a thing where I'm a battle you women and say, it's a business, and battle the men and say, oh, treat them like a company. No. We're just going to chat. We're going to talk about the similarities. Because I'm going to tell you something. People who look at relationships with some of the components of a business often tend to do pretty good at it, right? As a matter of fact, I was a blessing in disguise for me. When I got married, everything was wonderful. And I got a prenuptial because my mentors, who were millionaires and billionaires, said, Malcolm, that you got to do that. Man, by God. Now, it, all I can say is thank God for listening to mentors. Okay. On top of that, it also things can be good and bad at the same time because then that pisses people off when you go through that. Now, I never expected to be in that place, and so I ended up in that place. But Vincent, what's going on? What's going on? Courage? Yes, please, guys, make sure that you're liking this, that you're sharing this, and that you make sure you're going to the subscribe. Go to the tube, look up Winners All Around, subscribe there. We need your help and assistance. So now I've had some success in those things, but I wanted to compare the two and talk about relationships, okay, and business. I was talking to my girl the other day. We had some conversations about some things, you know, and in relationships, I'll tell you this: sometimes you got to tone it down. You got to bring it down. One of my favorite books, one of our new clients, told her, look, go out, pick up How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. What's up, Emery? Okay? So you want to hear that again? How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. Okay? Great book. It helps you with relationships. But in actuality, Carnegie was one of the first known to be um, billionaires, and he had no, that was a different book. That was Think and Grow Rich. Okay, never mind. Forget it. So anyway, but Carnegie, yes, he's one of the known first to be billionaires, and so therefore, but that's a whole different story. But my point is, the connection between relationship, I mean, usually what we think about as far as maybe spiritual, male and female. To these days, you got other stuff going on. Whatever it is that you have, loving relationship, kids, parents, siblings, right? The love type of thing. It's very similar in a lot of different ways to the actual business side of different things. Okay, hey TikTok, what's going on, y'all? Y'all cranking up with the love right there. I thank you, Jesse. Right, and so guys, is a connection. So I wanted to start sort of from the beginning and just give you some insight, give you some things to think about. Right. Now I got a prenuptial when I got married, and that's a contract. And a lot of people have an issue, a problem with that. But what they don't understand is, why do you have a contract in business, right? How you doing, Jesse? You have a contract so that when things go south, if they do, no one goes into business generally, unless you're a scammer, right, and wants to destroy your business, right? You go into it for a reason, to get ahead, to do better, to help people, whatever it is, right? So no one goes into it that way. So why do you got contracts in business? You got contracts in case something may happen. Sometimes you can't. I never planned to get divorced, right? But God had another story going on. Well, in some aspects, I say thank God, right? For real, right? So my point is, you don't plan to fail in business. You don't plan to fail in marriage. But in business, it's known to have contracts, right? Now, if you go into business, you don't have contracts. I've been in business for a long time. I got partners, other people, a lot of times, they don't like contracts. But I always see it come back to bite them when they don't have contracts. Just like how many people who have been married didn't have a contract and it came back to bite you. Now, it doesn't mean that if you have a contract, that something still can't come back to bite you, right? One of the things I learned in business, and one of my mentors um, in Miller, Jenner, and Draft sat me down because I owned a magazine, right? Music Entertainment Magazine. And he said, look, all these record labels, all these big companies, all these folks, little, big, and small, owe you money. And they were wrong. They took your ad, they took what you gave them, they didn't pay you. And most of the time they would pay me, but it would be, sometimes it would take months and months and months and months and months, Nicholas, for them to actually pay me, right? And so that wasn't right because I had to pay my bills so I could print the magazine and put it out, right? So I had a contract with them for them to pay me. And I would send in, okay, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, we're going to have to garnish you, take you to court, whatever. And the multi-million, billion-dollar companies used to say to me, Malcolm, stop sending us all that garbage. And if you do, and if you try to make a problem, we will pay you, don't worry. But if you make a problem out of it, we won't do any business with you anymore. Now, that's the big company said. Okay. Okay, that makes some sense. But then the small companies, they don't pay either, right? So it was easier to go after them, easier to take them to court, never lost in court, right? And then my man said, look, Malcolm, you can't sue everybody. Because if you sue everybody, even if you're right, woo, listen to me, even if you're right, right, it will become known that you're suing people because people like negativity. They don't care that the person jawed you, screwed you over, and that they were wrong. They will just say, you keep taking people to court. So that's the problem, and maybe they won't do business with you. Wow. So look at relationships. You ever have a conversation, fellas? Ever have a conversation, ladies? That you knew you were right? No discussion. Facts pointed that way. But if you told them you were right, if you created a problem that you were right, if the last goal was to make sure they understand that you were right, what happened? Right? A girl told me the other day, oh my God, right? You know, you're going to have a repercussion, right? So there you have business, right, Mr. Dinosaur? You have business that you can't just always be right, even though you're right. When you're in a relationship, you can't always be right, even though you're right? That's very similar. Now going back to the paperwork, which is the contract. Most people don't have a prenuptial like I did. That's a contract in a marriage, in a relationship, right? But wait a minute, you do have a contract. You know your contract to get married actually is more with the state that you live in, especially if you're in the US, the state that you live in, and the federal government than it really is with the person that you're marrying. That's pretty crazy. I like what Neo said. He got all these different wives. They're not really wives because if he was to marry them, what would happen? That contract in the United States, you can't do that. So they lock him up and put him in jail because now you got too many wives. So he didn't marry them. He didn't do that type of contract. He has a verbal contract with who? With the wives, right? That we are married, we're respectful, we're doing this. I think he got 4 of them now, right? I'm not on here saying that's what you do. I'm just saying he has a verbal contract, but not a contract. Wait, not a contract that will get him in trouble with the state or the feds, right? But he does have a contract. Just like you can have a verbal contract in business, it will be harder to prove. It will be harder for you to win if it ever comes down, but you can do it. So Neo, it's harder for him if he was to get married, right? Gene, why don't you co-host? What am I co-hosting, Gene? Let me see what he's talking about. It will be harder. Oh, there it is. Okay. It will be harder if he was to get married because then he have to fight the state and the feds and probably go to jail. So it's easier for him not to get married, right? And have a contract verbally with his wives to continue on. So you have to look at the solution a lot. You got to look at the situation a lot of times. Let me see. Zubot, what's going on? What's up, Asia? Right? You have to look at the solution. I mean, and you got to look at the situation sometimes when you're making the best decision when you're in business and when you're in a committed of some type of relationship. Right? Look, guys, these are similarities between relationships and business. So getting back to the fact that you do have a contract when you get married with the state. Now, if you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend and you want to break up, what do? Wash your hands, we break up. Unless there's some other stuff going on, right? And you part ways, right? Now, if you have a child, it gets another level, takes it to another level. Same thing if you're married. If you got a child, takes it to another level. But you can't just wash your hands when you're married. Because if you do, right, you're going to have even more problems, right? And you didn't have a contract. You could probably wash your hands a lot easier with the contract that you had with your wife or your husband than you can with the state. That is absolutely asinine if you think about it. It is. What kind of sense does that make? Well, there's a lot of things that we do that don't make any sense. Now, not going to politics, but Trump's doing a lot of things that don't make no sense to people. And some things don't make no sense, but some things make some business sense. We've just lived so long with no sense and nonsense in politics that it shocks us and it pisses us off. That doesn't mean that everything is wrong, right? In a relationship, you can have good days, you can have bad days, but everything's not good and everything's not wrong. And in business and in politics, everything's not good and everything's not wrong. You must learn to take the good with the bad, right? So let's go back to how we get to be married, how we get to have relationships, right? You see somebody across the room. What's up, Mark? You see that sexy honey. You see that fine gentleman, right? And you say, oh man, I like to get to know them. Or maybe you met them in church or somebody introduced you, however you met, right? There was this, there was an interest that bubbled up in you. Okay, wait a minute. So I'm walking down the street and I own a t-shirt company and I see a mural on the wall. What happens? Ooh, it starts to bubble. That would be a great mural on my t-shirts. Woo, that's similar, isn't it? Yes, it is, right? But now I'm talking about business. But when I saw that sexy honey, it was about what? The relationships. Hey, help, take, Pelton. We're getting similar here once again, right? So now I say, okay, let's say you see the honey, you see that guy, you want to figure out what do you do next? Well, it probably makes sense to have a conversation. And at some point in time, maybe not right away, but let them know there's an interest, right? So what happens if you're at a networking event, right? I help artists and business owners connect with politicians, connect with celebrities, connect with high-end people. That's what we do, right? If you want to know more, you can go to Winners All Around on the tube or .com and see what we're talking about. But we connect people, network, right? Your network is your net worth, right? You might not have any money, but you know a ton of contacts and a ton of people that if you're smart, you can turn that into money, right? So you see somebody you're interested in, you need to chat with them. You talk to them, right? You see something in business, walking down the street, you have an idea, you you wake up in the middle of the night and you have an idea of a company, right? So what's the first thing you gotta do? I gotta find some people that can help me, or I gotta do some research. If you got contacts, you can go off and you can call the contacts and they might point you in the right direction, right? If you see that honey across the room at the bar, you see that guy sitting over there leaning against the bus stop, whatever it is, or a Ferrari, right? But you see your girlfriend going down the aisle where he is, or you see your boy and you send him over there to talk to the girl at the bar, or you send your girl, she says, I know that dude. So introduce, right? So now I got to do what? I got to get connection, right? That's right, Ball. Susie, you got to get connection. In a relationship thing, love, all that, I got to make a connection, right? In business, you got to do what? You got to make connection. And sometimes contacts, people you know, your network is going to assist and help you. The exact same way that it often will assist and help you in a committed or monogamous or loving or whatever kind of personal type of relationship that you may have. You follow me, Ethan? Right? So there we got some similarities, once again, between relationships and business that people don't want to often connect. Okay? So now you connect with the person. Now maybe you connect with the dude and you say, oh, the energy wasn't there. Or what you thought was going to be there wasn't there. Or what you wanted to be there wasn't there. Or it wasn't there in the way you expected it to be, right? That happens what? In business as well, right? You wanted it to be there. You thought this would work. You thought this idea would work, but it didn't look like it was going to work out that way. Same thing between relationships and business. But wait a minute. Have you ever been in business or connected with somebody or somebody offered something to you and you said, I don't think that I'm interested in it? Let me give you an example. I got a phone call about a year, uh, about a year ago. And the lady said to me, Malcolm, I know you've been successful. You made millions of dollars in these other stuff. Look, what's up, Apple user? I think my girl jumped on here. Look, you say, look, um, I know you've been successful in the home-based business space. I got something you got to take a look at. It's this weight loss thing. And I can't remember where she told me something, said me something, I don't know what. So she must have told me because there wasn't anything at the time. And so she told me about it, Chris, and I was like, oh, okay. And I think she was supposed to get back with me. I guess I couldn't look at a website. I didn't understand that back then because there wasn't a website yet about it. So it was went in one ear, rattled around in my head, and went out the other ear because I never got a call back and never heard nothing else about it. Although I said, that's interesting, but I wasn't interested at that point, right? And I wasn't interested enough to even go off and to pursue it, right? But then, about 4 or 5 months later, it comes across my path again. And let me tell you what happened. The guy called me and told me I wasn't feeling good. He said, get on a Zoom. I said, okay. You know, some of y'all need to get on a Zoom. When your friends and family people ask you to get on a Zoom, stop questioning them, stop beating them up, stop trying to figure out everything. Just take your bloody little bit of time, get on it and find out if you're interested. See, some of y'all so closed-minded, y'all miss everything. So anyway, got that out. So get on the Zoom. I get on the Zoom, and I hear the same name. I say, wait a minute, I've heard this before. Then I had to throw up. I wasn't feeling good, ran to the bathroom. But I texted my car, and I said, look, I'm not feeling good. I'll check it out later. But put me in if you're getting started. Because I want to try the product. Now, I probably might have thought that the first time, but I wasn't really interested the first time. This time, I said, okay, I tried the product. Now, I'd also gone through a health scare and almost died. And I had another product, a patch called X39 that I still use, might be on my face. That doesn't matter. You usually can't see, so I can show you today. It's on my face. I'm wearing it on my face because my jaw was hurting, right? So it rebuilds your stem cells. So I stuck this on my face about a week ago, and it's been helping me a little bit. Went to the doctor. They gave me some other stuff today to help me a little bit. But my point is, I was using this, and I was happy, and things were popping a little bit. And then something else came across me, so I'm like, health is more important to me now, right? As you get older, health becomes more important. So I'm listening to my other guy. I don't see the whole Zoom, but I tell him to put us in, and he does. Okay, because I want to try the product, not because I wanted to do a business. Once again, I wasn't interested in that. I just wanted to try the product, right? But I was another step closer than I was the first time I got the call from a lady. So my point is, that happens in business all the time, right? I then try the product, and it's good. I lost 8 pounds. This is wonderful, right? Maybe it's helping me with some other things, right? Maybe it helped my cholesterol, help my sugar. Oh, I said, this is some good stuff, right? But I originally, what? I wasn't interested. But does it ever happen to you in a relationship? With females? With males? Of course. I saw a post the other day, so I'll bring it up. It's a good time to bring it up. Guys are saying, well, guys, how often do you ever hear men say, well, when I met her, I wasn't interested at all, but she grew on me. Uh, men wouldn't dare. You don't hear men talk about stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Yuri, right? You don't hear that type of stuff coming out of men, guys. We got to be much careful about what we say. Women can just go off the handle, right? So we don't say that. But you hear women say that all the time. You know, if you think about it, break it down, that's sort of pretty disrespectful, right? At least you don't have to say it. You don't got to put the business out there like that, right? But sometimes we say things that we shouldn't put out there, we shouldn't put it up. Or sometimes we're playing with it and stuff like a girl was mad at me the other day because, I was playing with her, but she knew about some things I was talking about, but I wasn't upset, but she got upset, and I understand, I apologize, and that's how it goes, right? Because remember, ain't nothing perfect, right? So anyway, here we are, and I got a product that initially I wasn't interested in. It happens in business. You're looking at something, you're not necessarily interested, and then the timing changes, right? And the next thing you know, now you become interested, right? I was in the travel business, got involved in the travel business. Talking to a lady yesterday about the travel company. I said, look, in 2001, 2004, most people weren't putting their credit card online and buying any travel. So when I joined that industry and I told people to do that, they told me I was out of my mind and something was wrong with me, Murphy. Well, a year and a half later, I made my first $1 million, right? Went on to make more millions, right? Because the timing was perfect. And when that company exploded, everybody to this day want to start a travel company, want to add travel product. Why? Because the other company did it. But the timing's different. And I got finished talking to this lady. I wasn't trying to turn her off for the company she was in. I actually liked the company she's in. She said, oh, I wish I would have talked to you first. But you know what? She was smart. Even though she was in something else, she tried to pitch me on it, but she also got that same fixed product I was talking about to make you lose weight and get rid of your medicinal fat. What? Smart lady, right? I think I am too sometimes, right? So take. There we go. You meet somebody, they ain't for me, right? Not connection. Not feeling it like that. But if you stick around, people can grow on you, right? You might see things that you didn't see before, right? Because if you want to win in business and you want to win in personal, you're at some point in time, you're going to have to become intentional. Intentional. That's another story I can tell you about that, but I won't tell that story on here. I can beat up. You got to become intentional, right? And you're in business, you got to be intentional. That's why a lot of people fail in business because they're not intentional, right? They don't intend to market or promote or hook up with us so we can get them all over the world on social media and on the networks. I talked to a buddy of mine today. I said, look, man, I'm going to help you. It's free. It's good on. Let's do an interview, put you out there. Oh, no, we're not allowed to. You're not allowed to. The owners of the company are doing it. They called me. What do you mean? Oh, yeah. I said, you know what? It's cool. And he said, you know what, Malcolm? I love you. I said, I love you too, man. We good. I'm not going to argue with you. 2 years ago, you was going to buy a house. And everything crashed because you were messing around with all that crypto stuff. And you're still messing around with all that crypto stuff. Say you're gonna buy a house. I said, good luck. God bless. I hope you do. Right? I'm gonna give me another one too. But not that way. Right? That's my choice. My point is, we part as friends because in business, sometimes you might have to part as friends. Maybe it don't work out. Maybe the business fold. Maybe disappear. Maybe you look at it again another day and you resurrect it. Wait a minute. The same type of thing happens in business as happens in personal, right? We was going down the wrong path with my friend. It wasn't even about loving him. Well, I do love him. He loves me, but not like that. Like we're both men. But that's a personal relationship. It wasn't even a romantic relationship, just a personal relationship. But guess what? We were going up and down, and then we smoothed it and went back up. Same thing happens in business as happens in personal. So go ahead, meet someone, you're connected, and now you want to, see if you can take it further. What do you do then? Intentionally. You got to pour things into your relationship, right? You got to do some things you don't want to do. You got to try some things you're not used to trying. You're going to alter some things you may not want to alter. Why? Because now you're intentional. Now you want to make this thing happen. You want to make it work. That's the exact same thing you do in business. You got to try things you don't want to do. You got to do things you don't want to do. You got to spend the money you don't have to spend. You got to become intentional when everyone else, here go another one, tells you you're nuts. That you're crazy. So let's look at a relationship. You're going to have some close friends. Ladies, I have some ladies. Men, you're going to have some men. I don't like her, man. I used to mess with her. I hit that, right? I remember my man, right? He married this girl who a few of us, not me, a few of us in the crew had some relationships with. And for their entire married life, they were cool, so they didn't bring it up too often. But sometimes they would be sort of negative, and they would say, "Man, I had that. That's messed up. You talk about somebody's wife like that." But sometimes you ain't the nicest, right? But you can get over things. But anyway, they probably had more conversation with me and other people than they did with him because we were all cool. But the point is, they would make fun sometimes about the fact that he ended up marrying this woman that they had been with. They are they. But you know what? And here's the sad thing. It's why you should not uh, be negative, and you should think about people, and sometimes it come back to get you. The one guy that used to say this died of AIDS. The other guy that used to say this became homeless and had mad talent and became a bum. Guys, things can come back to bite you. Be good. And if you did something wrong, pray about it, repent, God forgive you. But do better. Do better. In my relationship now, I promised myself I would do better. I make changes. I adapt. Even my girl don't even understand sometimes. I'm trying to tell her that I'm working to do better. Because if I was who I had been in the past, or I have the potential or capabilities of, it won't be good. Right? So you do the same thing in business. You do what? You want to get better. So he had a great life with his wife, great kids, whole 9 yards. Unfortunately, passed away, but great life. And these other two bums, they had nothing. Right? Not good at all. So he did the right thing. He fought through all the heartaches, the pains, the things he had to think about it. You know, I went through one of those situations. I had to forgive. I had to think about it. I had to remember it was before me, right? Or sort of. Things like that, guys. Because nothing is perfect, guys. And sometimes it's hard and it's difficult. But you got to be intentional and understand that at the end of the day is what's important. The big picture is what's important, not the little small picture, not your friends talking a bunch of trash, not the people telling you your business is not going to work. Guys, it's got to be the big picture. And that comes from here and a connection with this in you to make it work, to make it good, to make it better. Right? And so he made it better in that situation. I made it better in things in life. I'm sure you've made things better in life. And you're going to have to do the same thing in business. You're going to have to make it better, bigger, better. You're going to have to work at things. and you're going to have to be intentional about things, even when people tell you that you're absolutely crazy. As a matter of fact, when you're in business, if someone tells you you're nuts, you're crazy, and don't do it, you're probably on the right path. And that happens often in relationships when it comes to personal, because people have other agendas. People don't want to see you happy. People don't want to see you succeed in business. People would rather you stay with them around the water cooler and never have time and financial freedom, because it's easier for them to talk to you. And if you become successful in business or you become successful in a marriage, then it's hard for them to talk to you because here it goes, take this in. You remind them of the intentions and the seriousness and how you got it done in your relationship and with your business, and you remind them by your success, even if you don't say anything, that they weren't willing to pay the price and go through that. And that's why business and in personal, people often are as we call haters. It's not you. It's them. So now you got yourself a good woman, a good man, man, a woman, whatever you got. Got a good dog, got a good cat, got a good bird. Whatever you're talking about, you're loving in your personal life. And you work to be intentional, and you work to get better, and you work through the ups and the downs, even when people say you're crazy, and even when it's difficult. And guys, that's the exact same thing you have to do in business. And in business, you have to do it as long as you're in business. That's right, Shay. As long as you're in business. And if you intend to make it in a relationship, personal, loving, kids, significant others, pets, people from church, people in the neighborhood, whatever, you're going to have to go through things forever and ever and ever. Guys, don't get bent out of shape when people talk about relationships are a business. Because what they may be saying to you is that they're very similar. There are things that you can learn in business and vice versa that will help you in a relationship. So don't get upset with people. Don't get mad because, guys, they are very, very similar. And you can learn everything, everybody, whether it's good or bad, if you're really tuned in to getting better in this world. I could go on and talk about it. Get married, open up the doors of your business, right? The feelings that you have, the things that you go through. When you've paid the price and other people wouldn't pay the price, when you're old and sitting on the rocking chair and you got your honey right there, and you paid the price, and everybody else is home trying to cook up some canned beans by themselves, right? When your business is good and you buy the trappings or you take the kids on vacation and do all those type of things because you paid the price and your other friends and family, they didn't do that. Guys, we could go on and on and on. Maybe I'll touch bases again a little bit later, another time. More. I was on here so long, my legs was getting to me. And I got excited. So with that being said, guys, relationships, what I say, relationships is a business. Business is about relationships. I hope this has been something that you can take away from and enhance and make your life better. Again, my name is Dr. Malcolm D. Alexander. They call me the Treadmill Wealth Coach. So if you need a little help in that area, let us know. Please check us out tomorrow, which is, no, not tomorrow, Thursday, 11:30 at night for the next Freestyle Friday with Tress. Download the Tagged app and meet us on there if you want to perform. Or if you want a little quick little mini interview or something like that, if you're a business owner. Make sure, please, to subscribe here. Thank you for the gifts and things of that nature, guys. Please subscribe at the Tube for winners all around. Also, check out the site. Sign up if you want to be a part of the family, if you want to make some more money, if you want to help some more people, if you want to go change your life If you're a business owner, if you're an artist, we can help you. We want to help you. So go ahead and subscribe over there, and you can watch this again on the tube on the Winners All Around. You can see a replay of this. You can also see the replay of the other shows. Also on Fridays at 6 p.m., I have Dads Deserve Justice show. And you can see that as well. If you're a father, I want to talk with you. If you're a dad, if you have situations, even if you're women, I have talking to lots of women as well. Dadsdeservejustice.org, guys. A lot of people, men and women, a lot of men are being alienated by the kids. I just shared something in my post. It's absolutely incredible. Just reminded me of similar to my situation, and the attorney was talking about it. It's just so very, very sad. I had followed them and heard about them before. Um, I reached out to her and said, "Hey, I want to interview you." And that's what we do also for artists and business owners, guys. But we want to bring things to you. So don't also check out Straight from the Street in visual, right? We brought that back, guys. Rocky brought it back. Adrian is back alive. Straight from the Street. You can see the show on there also. We just covered a show with Stinky Dink in the Washington D.C. area and stuff like that. We'll come cover you wherever you may be in the world and stuff like that. So miss that show as well. Also, Soul Food Cipher Sunday, where we just get into all types of different stuff. And we got a new show coming out where we're going to review music. Because I come from the music business and I won't go into all that, but guys had some success there. So we review music, we review your scripts if you're an actor and stuff like that. And we also will help you get exposure and turn your creativity and your arts into some income, into some money, because the music business has really crashed, and we want to help people there as well. And so, but they're going to have to make a living, and we want to help them with that. So with that being said, guys, again, my name is Dr. Malcolm D. Alexander, the Treadmill Wealth Coach. I appreciate you giving me some time as I hit the treadmill, and I'll see you again soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Winners all around on the tube. Talk to you later. God bless. And oh yeah, and go get that relationship and go start that business. And go get that relationship and go ahead and start that business. Okay, guys, I will see you next time.